the Ignite Our Life Force and Joy in Bali, which is a sacred Tantra Breathwork retreat that we're offering, which is also moving into inner union, a sacred place within us of inner union and oneness. And so these practices are very much based on the teachings of Mary Magdalene and the Gospel of Mary Magdalene and the teachings of Yeshua, the channel teachings of Yeshua of Christ, and of which brings in, of course, the practices of the Isis and initiates of Isis, as Mary Magdalene was an initiate of Isis, as was Yeshua. So there is no separation between Isis, Magdalene, Yeshua, Christ consciousness. It's bringing that awareness to us of what it truly means to be in presence and what it truly means to connect within us, to really feel that divine source of light and love within us. So this is the journey that the practice today that we're offering, which Xavier will be sharing with us, is very much that practice of inner union, that practice of bringing ourselves into sacred relationship, not just with us, with ourselves initially, that journey within us, and with each other in as beloveds, each other as friends, family, community. It's a sacred relationship that we then step into as a way of living our lives. So it's in living it that we embody it, that we become it. So these teachings are very much based on, the sacredness of our inner divine selves and that connection with ourselves and that choices that we make, because we are free to choose, in remembering that transcendence through and remembering who we truly are and our authentic selves. So I continue to welcome you all here. So I see more of you have joined now, and welcome to this webinar. So let's take a moment to take 3 really deep breaths and just let go so that we can just relax into our bodies, relax and open into our hearts, and release our minds as we come into presence. And just taking a moment to take a breath into your hearts. Ah. And bring your inner smile to your heart. Ah. Feeling that smile and joy expanding. So starting our time together today from this place within our heart of joy, of smile, of happiness, of all that feels good within us. I'd like to start by introducing the co-facilitators with me in Bali. And first I'd like to introduce Xavier, who's joined us from Bali today and will be leading us in the practice today. So Xavier, if you could share a little bit more about your background and what you bring to us and what you're bringing to the retreat.
Welcome everyone. So my name is Xavier. I just unmute myself, sorry. Yes, what I'm bringing into the retreat, this is my life passion. I just spent the past 20 years uh, becoming more and more conscious and awakening to who I really am. So I just basically dedicated my life to awakening processes, to do trainings, to study, to practice awakening process, basically studying all teachings from mystery school, from ancient mystery schools that were available. I traveled over 40 countries to study with masters, teachers, and remember many of my past lives. And what I can trace is directly from my family lineage, where we are descendant of the directly descendant of the Essenes, of the Templars, the Merovingians in France. But really, what is important is that my life mission is really in alignment with this. I am here to study, practice, and teach all those teaching of inner sacred unions, because as now they are being proven by science, by the work of Joe Dispenza, that the mystery school teaching that Yeshua and Mary Magdalene were teaching, that is God is inside of us and not inside someone on the outside. There's no more gurus. God is on the inside at the center of the cross. God is in the heart at the center of the cross. Now, these teachings are being proven by science, thanks to people like Joe Dispenza and Deepak Chopra and Mantak Chia. All these teachings are converging toward what Yeshua and Mary Magdalene were teaching. So my life mission is being conferred scientifically. So I'm really passionate about bringing those teaching back, because these are really teachings that allow us to live a better life on earth. They allow us to remove suffering, to alchemize any emotions that we have, to find the keys to how to create our own destiny and how to create a life that we choose on this planet. So I'm really passionate about that. And I'm going to give, you're going to get to know me better later. But for now, yes, I will let the other speakers speak. My name is Xavier.
Thank you, Xavier. It's beautiful. And Jacqueline, I'd like to introduce you and what you know your background a little bit and more about what you'll be bringing to our Bali retreat.
Sure, thank you, Sophia. Hello, everyone. I'm Jacqueline. Yeah, similar to Javier, I feel very passionate about what we're doing, and my earliest memories were of the light and wanting to merge with the light and spread light and then go back to the light. And I've spent my whole life studying both through books and through meetings with some of the brightest lights on the planet around the world, and following this path of the heart. And I've been fortunate to travel to 7 continents and over 100 countries. So my vision is, my experience is very wide and global, and which I love bringing to my classes. And I have been teaching yoga for nearly 20 years, 18, I think, years. And it's funny because when I was talking to Sophia Magdalena, and she mentioned this retreat, she said she was looking for someone to teach the yoga. And I said, well, I'd be very happy to do that. And then she said, but it's going to be specifically goddess yoga. And I just laughed because I intuitively got a sort of download to create goddess yoga classes over the last couple of 5 years or so. So I've been doing that anyway. And so I'm very happy to come and offer that on the retreat. So we'll be covering different goddesses, including perhaps Isis, Mary Magdalene, maybe Mother Mary, maybe Kali, on different days. So we can really embody them and get to be familiar with them. So really, really honored and happy to getting thumbs up from Xavier to be part of this and to collaborate with you all and have a wonderful time in Bali.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jacqueline. Yes. And I suppose coming to myself, Sophia Magdalena, and I've been on the path of the Magdalene Path and Way of the Heart through the teachings of the Way of Mastery that I encountered in Bali, actually. So when I was there, and I went through my own journey there, deep transformation, of deep transcendence, from where I was and from the reality that I believed I was living in and creating, which was, it was all based still on love and on peace and creating peace in the world, but still at a deeper level. Then I went through my own journey through these guided teachings that were channeled through Yeshua, through JM, that came directly through Yeshua. And it is those words that were written that created the book, The Way of the Mastery, which are the basis of my teachings and practices, and of the breath work, which is the main practice that I lead people into for transcendence and for, coming for that remembrance again of moving into our own truth and our authenticity and our own divine truth, and clearing of the misguided beliefs that we have, that we've experienced through our lifetimes, that we've held on to, believing that this was our reality and we had no other choice than to feel this separation from our true self, and through the divine. So it's that bringing together then of moving through the shadow parts, moving through these misbeliefs so that we can clear and cleanse and come open ourselves to receive the love, to receive the breath of love, which is love's breath. So I combine both the love's breath practice, which is deeply, cleansing and brings a lot of oxygen and energy and life force, talking about the science of it, that brings us to very heightened states of consciousness and awareness. And it's an alchemy. The breath is an alchemy that transmutes these energies. So there's, that's the breathwork practice itself. Then I introduce it to and bring in radical inquiry, which is that deeper inquiry work that goes into that remembrance, that work with our shadows, where we still hold on to feeling unworthy of love or deserving or disconnected or abandoned. So it's in clearing these, we then bring, this through our intentions and desire to connect again and remember our truth, remember who we truly are, to remember the divine, to remember that we are the essence of love. We are the divine love is within us. So it's again that moving through spirit into body and embodying spirit in body in truth, and then making, and that becomes then the place between the spirit and the soul that begins to see in a different way. We begin to connect again with what is real, with the truth, with reality, in a very different conscious way. And and make new choices that bring us joy and bring us happiness and connects us again to our, that divine place within us. So that is my practice, and it is a breathwork retreat, so we will be, also having more webinars where Jacqueline will share more, and I will be sharing more about these specific practices and guiding you through some of them, so that you can have that experience as well of what it means to really deeply connect. And they weave together beautifully through the divine feminine, through the Magdalene, through Isis, through the bringing together divine feminine, masculine into oneness and wholeness. So we begin to see that goodness within us, and new reality, new ways of being, and connecting with our own true essence. And each of us are individuals. So we are all good, we are all one, we're all connected in spirit, but we discover through this journey, where we start to release and let go of our misbeliefs, we begin to discover who we truly are. We begin to discover our own empowered self, our sovereign being. And we begin to discover and feel into that, connect with, why, my purpose, my soul purpose, what is driving me, what brings me happiness, what brings me joy. So it's also very much about remembering and transcendence, remembrance, and connecting again with our authentic self. And then from that place, being able to express ourselves and to find our own unique gifts that we are here to share. So that is my part and contribution to this retreat, apart from I've lived in Bali many years, over 10, and so I have a very deep connection with the Balinese sacred practices and temple rites and cleansing, and very strong relationship with the Balinese people. They're like my family and community, so I bring that as well and share that, which I will share more of later. So thank you. Beautiful. So I'd like now to hand back to Xavier, who is going to lead us into one of the practices. Of course, now is a taster, and during our 10 days together in Bali, we're deepening into these practices so that we can fully connect and embody and what it truly means to move into conscious states of bliss and joy. Thank you, Xavier.
Thank you. So I would like everyone to sit upright and align your spine. So if you're sitting, make sure you're sitting upright. If you're laying down, if you can sit up. I'm going to try to see you up. Yes. Okay. And close your eyes and start to slowly breathe through the nose with a long, slow, deep breath. So this is only we are going to go through a 15 minutes little educational breath journey. And it's only a taster, like Sophia said, but it's very important because one of the teaching of Yeshua is that the kingdom of heaven is inside of us. And when he meant that is that when we learn to breathe properly, we can play with many different parameters on the breath, and those parameters are very important. So I don't know you, but in school, I never learned to breathe properly. We didn't have a class on what is the ratio of oxygen and CO2, what is the length of the inhale, how shall we breathe from the nose or from the mouth, and when, and how can we slow down our heart rate, how can we play with the different brain waves. And all these are very important because basically the way we breathe scientifically with specific techniques will change the different brainwave that we have, will regulate our nervous system. We consciously regulate the opening of our subconscious so that we can program our subconscious with our conscious. And as most of us know, 90% of our life is regulated by our subconscious, which means we don't control how we digest, we don't control how we heal, we don't control how we react to situations on the outside, because this is our subconscious that is dealing with it without us thinking about it. However, with the correct knowledge and practices, and this was most of the teachings that were practiced in mystery schools, and Yeshua and Mary Magdalene's mystery schools were very powerful because they were teaching how to live in peace, in harmony, and in happiness. Some mystery schools were teaching how to get more power, how to get more finance, how to get very self-personal, selfishness orientated, but the teachings of Christ consciousness is how to be in our hearts, how to be happy, how to live in harmony with others, with the children, with nature, and basically how to remove the suffering that the other ways of school of thought were causing by having a hierarchy, by deciding that how can I control more slaves, that might be pleasant for the one that are the tops, like the Roman emperor, but it's very unpleasant and creating a lot of suffering for the slaves and for the one that were underneath. So the teachings of Christ consciousness are actually mystery school teachings that are based on equality, on heart center, and that are actually based on scientific techniques and method that will allow us to feel this opening in the heart, to feel more love, and to be able to control our brain wave, like Joe Dispenza is now proving it by doing all these tests on universities, all these brain waves tests, and having all these, let's say, miracles during his trainings, where a lot of people come in wheelchair to his trainings, and after 1 week, they come out being able to walk because they've done all these practices that are very, very similar to what used to be practiced by Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. because Joe Dispenza opened his heart when he actually healed himself with those techniques. And then he decided, out of the goodness of his heart, to spend his life sharing those teachings. He didn't decide, oh, I'm going to monetize this and sell it. He decided, no, I'm going to teach people as much as possible out of the goodness of his heart. So this is the type of teaching that is now, I'm mentioning him because he's proving with science those mystery school teaching do actually work and can be measured scientifically. Same with Wim Hof, who can have supernatural powers by the power of breath. So he has kind of invented his own technique, but these techniques are actually very, very similar to what we used to be taught by Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, and by ancient teachings in India, where Yeshua practiced, and in Egypt, where Yeshua and Mary Magdalene used to study as well. So that was just a brief introduction to tell us that what we are doing, if we do it properly, and it will take practice, can give us tangible results to transform our life and take control of our destiny. And our destiny is either controlled by someone else on the outside, or our karma from previous life, or our conditioning, or our past trauma, or we can decide to take control of it and with our conscious program or reprogram our subconscious. And then while we reprogram our subconscious, we can tell our subconscious to respond in a certain way to life and to create magnetization of the quantum field and attract synchronicity toward us, toward what we choose, instead of what we have been programmed for by our previous conditioning, by our childhood or our past trauma or our past conditioning. Does it make sense? Does it sound exciting? For me, it's really exciting because I grew up in France, and some of the teachings I liked, some of the conditioning I liked, but a lot of it I didn't like. So I really had to escape from this French, I would say, golden cage. Yes, it's comfortable, but I didn't feel free. So I really studied for several decades, how can I free myself? How can I apply it? And while I was getting very excited by all that, how can I share it now? Because it's like, when we make a really good cake, I want to share it with my friends. So today you are my friends. I want to share with you what I'm excited about. So let's all sit in a standing position, in a sit, our spine aligned, so that our chakras can be aligned. So our chakras are energy centers that are all along the spine. And the intention is to have our spine straight, because our spine is a central channel of energy where energy runs through. So if our energy runs through, then we are made of energy and we're able to have more energy. And with our energy, we can reprogram things. So let's close our eyes and breathe. And relax our body completely with our spine straight. And we do long, slow, deep breath through the nose, because when we breathe through the nose, the oxygen goes up in the brain. So breathing through the nose will allow our brain to receive maximum amount of oxygen, while breathing through the mouth will send the oxygen in our body, which will allow us to run fast if we need to run fast from a tiger, or if we need to run fast to do something. But in this case, now we want to superfeed our brain, and our body is only sitting, so it doesn't need that much energy. But this will send a lot of oxygen in our brain, which will give us the brain capacity to actually understand what's going on and practice more this breath of sacred union that we're practicing now. So let's close our eyes. And as we do long, slow, deep breath through the nose, we are going to visualize that we are drawing the energy from the center of the earth, as if we were drawing with a straw the energy through the central channel of our body, and activated our central channel, our central column of energy. And send that energy from the base of our body, from our base chakra, from our survival center. So we have in the body 7 chakras. they all have a very specific energy. And the first one is our survival center. The Muladhara chakra is where our survival lies. When the second one is our emotion center. So as we breathe up through the nose, we visualize the energy, the breath will go through all these chakra up and feed all these chakra as well as all these organs and get released to the top of our brain. The third chakra is our willpower, our Manipura chakra. It's the solar plexus. The fourth chakra is our heart center. So when we activate our heart center, we're able to join the paradoxes of opposites. So instead of fighting when we are in contradiction with something, suddenly we have the love and the understanding, joining the harmony of opposites. The next chakra, our fifth chakra, is our throat chakra. When we breathe through the central channel and activate those chakras, we send some energy in the throat chakra. This throat chakra allows us to speak our truth, to say no when we need to say no, so that we can respect our energy, our boundary, to say yes when we need to say yes, so that we're understood, to lead by example, to sing, to feel the pleasure of the vibration of speaking, singing. And as we keep breathing and drawing the energy up, we send the energy to the next chakra, our sixth chakra, which is our third eye, located between the eyebrows, at the center of our skull. And at each breath, visualize that the breath is sending energy through all this energy center, and this central column of energy through our spine is getting activated. And the next chakra, the seventh chakra, is the spiritual center. It's located just above the top of the head. And this is our spiritual center. This is where we can have an elevated perspective on life. Like from there, nothing matters because we're immortal. This is where the soul is sitting. And then as we breathe out, part of the energy will keep going up to the center of the galaxy, which is the central soul of consciousness, where the Big Bang started. Some call it source energy, the divine, God, the unified field, whatever is true to us. And then part of it's falling all around us like a fountain and gets recycled into the earth. So we are now breathing in through the nose, sending the energy up, firing all those chakras, sending energy through the whole body. Part of it will go through the top of the head. Part of it falls all around us, get back and being recycled into the earth, the center of the earth. And then we draw it again. And we find ourselves into a torus field of energy, a bit like the magnetic field of the earth. So we are a mini magnetic field all around us, and we activate this magnetic field and this breath field. Now, as we do this, I want us to breathe deeper and deeper through the nose, but gently. It's not a forced breath like when we do very active, strong breath work. It's a gentle, slow, long, slow deep breath through the nose, but really increasing our lung capacity. Because naturally, we tend to breathe 10 to 20% of our lung capacity, which means we only use 10 to 20% of our brain. If we start feeding more oxygen to the brain, then we have available a lot more brain capacity. So we might get a little bit dizzy, it might get a little bit tingling in the fingers. So if it's too much, you can slow down. But if you can handle it, the invitation is to increase our capacity to handle more oxygen in the brain, in the body, so that we can increase our superpowers and activate the kingdom of heaven, the divine within ourselves. Because the divine within ourselves needs fuel. It needs jet fuel. So first, we feed the God inside of us. And when the God inside of us has enough fuel, knowing that our brain, our mind is consuming the most oxygen, we need to give more oxygen to our body, to our mind. so that we can access more brain power. Now, the invitation is to breathe equally through both nostrils. So we have two nostrils because around our central channel, we have a left brain and a right brain. We have a right hemisphere, we have a left hemisphere. We have, if we look at ancient body technology, we have 72,000 channels of energy in our body. Some are very small, but the main ones are what we call the Inga and the Pingala, the left channel and the right channel. So on the left side will be our more receiving channel, which is called Inga in ancient yogic technology, which is where partly Xavier and Magdalena were trained in India. For many years, they disappeared to India. This is the same technology studied in Egypt, in ancient Egypt. So we have two channels, the Inga and the Pingala, the right and the left. And the invitation is to breathe equally through both nostrils, or if one of your nostrils is blocked, to visualize that the energy is coming from both channels equally. And as those two channels are activated, they create a channel of energy that is activated one central channel, which is called the Shushumna Nadi, which is our central channel, or the Kundalini. You probably heard this term, the Kundalini, which is the central channel that allows us to activate most of our energy. Now, when this Kundalini energy, so while I'm speaking, I would like us to keep breathing through the nose and keep sending this energy up. What happens is when we send this energy up, we create a channel of energy going up. And what happens is that it starts feeding the brain and feeding the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, and the parts of the brain that are normally dormant. Now, when these parts are dormant, our subconscious rules it. But when we, little by little, become more and more used to having energy in this brain, we become more and more aware, and little by little, we were going to be able to control our brain waves. So by now, you probably feel already much more relaxed than half an hour ago. When you arrived here, you turn your computer on, you are probably into a beta brainwave, which is the normal awake state where we do things. While we breathe through the nose and we relax and we listen to my instructions and visualize this energy, our body completely relaxes and we are probably already into alpha brainwave. Alpha brainwave is a meditative state where we often get insights, we can get intuition. This is a more meditative brainwave. Now, after the alpha brainwave, there is something called theta brainwaves. There is also a gamma brainwave. But the gamma brainwave is something we'll go later because it takes a little bit more practice to access this one because the entrance is very small. It's a very tiny brainwave entrance. But for now, we are going to focus on the easiest one because as we practice, it's going to become easier and easier. But gamma brainwave is the state that supernatural monks or healers or miracles are being made. It's called the God state. It takes monks several years to access these states, but in ancient mystery school, there are ways of breathwork where we can access it much faster. But it's power that comes with a lot of responsibility because we're able to become healers, to manipulate people, to hypnotize people. So it's very important to go slowly onto these very specific brain waves as they come with a lot of responsibility. And as we clear our channel, we are going to do the shadow work, the healing work that allows us to act not from our shadow and from our trauma, but from our heart and from our love. So it's as we go slow and we clear our channel, things will come up and we're going to heal them. And naturally, we'll be able to handle more and more power with more and more responsibility. So if you start yawning or if you start falling asleep, it's probably because we are accessing also the delta brainwave, and the delta brainwave is when we fall asleep. And for a first session, it's absolutely perfect if we are a little bit lost and there's a lot of brainwave. But little by little, the more, it's like the first lesson of Chinese Mandarin. It's a little bit complicated. There's a lot of new character, but little by little, we'll be able to get more and more familiar because each person is different as well. So as I'm speaking, keep breathing through the nose. Remember yourself. If you forgot about it, just go back to the breath, draw the energy, long, slow, deep breath through the nose. Sending the energy up, feeling the tingling if you feel the tingling in the body, and then observe what is happening. So now you know that you might be going through different brain waves. You might be maybe tend to fall asleep. If you tend to fall asleep, go back to presence, go back to the breath. If it's too much, slow down the breath. If it's boring, intensify the breath. And I'm not going to tell you what happened because it's for everyone to find out what is coming up for us. So let's breathe for another minute like this. Try to breathe as deeply as you can through the nose and allow memory, thoughts, emotions to come up. And you are in control of the speed and of the intensity, as everyone is different. And remembering to give as much attention to the masculine, feminine, giving, receiving principle for now, for the first taste of practice. And then later we can practice more one or the other. But for now, it's important to be in harmony with both, equality, different but equal. Because what happens when we have harmony between the masculine and the feminine, the giving principle, the receiving principle, the solar energy, the lunar energy, is that we create a phenomenon of resonance, and this phenomenon of resonance is an amplification. So when we are able to be perfectly balanced, playing with the masculine, the feminine, the right and the left, when we have this equilibrium and able to separate them as well, because they are different. Being in the body of a man is different than being in the body of the woman. Feeling the feminine energy, both available for men and women, and masculine energy, both available for men and women. We all have all energies. When we are able to play with those energies in harmony, then we're also able to have a natural phenomenon of resonance, and resonance is an amplification. And this is where our superpower comes, is that when we're able to play with the phenomenon of resonance, we're able to amplify energy. And this is where magicians, healers, supernatural mystics are able to get their superpower from. And slowly coming back into the body, you can slow down the breath. This is only a taster, but I invite us to reopen the eyes. And then maybe if someone wants to unmute the microphone and share in 1 or 2 words just, and we can have few like 1 or 2 words share to see how you feel about that. If you can feel a different state than you were, if you were able to change your state, like regulate your heartbeats, maybe regulate your emotional state is different than before, and understand that, wow, these techniques are actually very powerful because we can change our state and we can change our brain waves, we can change our brain capacity, we can change things inside of us with the right technique of breath and the right harmony between the different principle that we have, in this case, the union between the masculine and the feminine. So unmute yourself and share in a few words something that will be. So I'm feeling way more relaxed already, like just sharing for me. I'm just showing you the example. I'm feeling way more relaxed than a few minutes ago. I'm feeling at peace. I'm feeling much more self-confidence. And I feel a lot of gratitude in my heart. And maybe you can say your name as well. So my name is Xavier. If someone wants to unmute themselves, say your name and say how you're feeling.
Hi
and
there.
how you feel. Yes.
Hi, my name's Abby. I feel so relaxed, like in a sleep mode, and feel just at peace. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
So if you can if you relate to that, we can just like give some like a love shower energy, because it takes courage to share in public speaking. That's one of the things we'll be practicing. Public speaking is we used to be burned for public speaking and burnt at the stake and called witches and called wizard, and so it takes a lot of courage. So we give a lot of love to the one who are sharing. So someone else can unmute yourself and share a few words, and then we'll give you a love shower.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
Hello. Hi, Sarah.
I feel blissful.
Mm.
It's full of bliss. Beautiful, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Love shower, Sarah. Mm.
I've got extremely hot hands.
Yes, fantastic. Yeah. Oh, yes, fantastic.
I feel like they're sweaty. You know, they're all very warm, but they've gone very almost like wet now. So yeah, it's just yeah, I feel, in fact, I'm starting to feel hot all over now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you. Love shower. So we'll go through that, but this means you're very likely, my intuition says you're a very powerful healer, and we are activating your 72,000 channel. A lot of them are in the hands. And if there was a few blocks before, these blocks are being pushed around. It creates friction inside, energy friction. This is what creates heat. So we'll go through, during the retreat, we'll go through progressive practices and techniques so that each one of us, according to our soul mission and life mission on this planet, you might be an energy healer, someone else might be an artist, someone else might be a poet, a magician, or can be a musician. We all have a specific life mission, but we'll go through how to identify what are our special gifts and how to open those gifts so that we can live in full harmony of creating our destiny. So thank you for sharing that. It shows that you have a lot of energy and a lot of power. Thank you.
I too have got very tingly hands. They're really tingly. So like pins and needlesy. But I do feel very calm, very relaxed. So thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi.
Yeah. Yes.
I feel very relaxed, but I felt as if I was being, everything was in alignment, everything was flowing. And as it well, I just felt my aura was getting wider and stronger. It was a strength I was feeling.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. It's getting dark in Bali. So particularly, I want to speak very quickly about Bali. I live in Bali. There is a very specific reason. It's not because it's hot and I'm drinking pina colada and relaxing on a chair. It's because Bali is situated around the equator, and a lot of temples are situated around the equator, a lot of spiritual temples. And this is because spiritual power goes vertically around the equator. There is no Coriolis forces. So when we practice somewhere far away from the equator, the energy has tendency to go on the side. The same as when you flush your toilet, the water will start turning. When we are around the equator, usually the water doesn't know where to go because it actually just wants to go down. It doesn't want to turn. So that's one of the reasons why there are a lot of temples in India around the equator, in Asia around the equator, is because it's much easier to work on spirituality in those countries. This is why Bali is the island of the gods. There's 10,000 temples around Cambodia, around Vietnam. There are a lot of temple. So this is one of the reasons why I live in Bali, because I'm here to practice a very strong spiritual practice, very strong science and spirituality at the same time. A long time ago, before religion arrived, science and spirituality were together. There was no separation between science and spirituality. It's only in recent time when some powers have taken power and have started to separate it. But I find myself studying scientifically spirituality and how to improve life and how to create paradise on earth using those principles of science and spirituality at the same time. And these scientific principles are way, way older and wiser than the new Western science that is only in its infancy, with only a few hundred years old. I'm talking about science that are several thousands or sometimes tens of thousands years of experience, like the Emerald Tablet and ancient Egyptian history and the Tao in China, in Asia. And these have proven science of energy where we can actually really make a difference in the happiness of a population. So one of my life mission is to help people live an amazing, happy life. And I was blessed as a child to be born in a very conscious community by very conscious parents and to have a very happy childhood. And my life mission is to create education and sanctuaries where the next generation can benefit from a very healthy, happy life, so that we create paradise on earth. And it's a work in progress. We're all doing our best. So that's why I'm studying and sharing as much as I can, because the more you learn, the more you'll be able to apply it, live a happy life, and happy people create a happy planet and a happy next generation. So that's why I'm so motivated. Okay, maybe it's time for Sophia to share some things now. Yeah. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you all for practicing. It's so beautiful. I'm so glad everyone is feeling relaxed. So we went from beta brainwave to alpha brainwave, the meditative state. And you saw how easy it is. It's really like there's nothing special. I mean, it is very special, but the subtle, it's very accurate, but it's very easy. This is why I'm so excited to share with you, because in a week or in 10 days, we're going to be able to study so much. It's so easy, but we just have to do the right thing. It's so easy. The truth is hidden in plain sight. The secret is hidden in plain sight. But we've got to know how to find it and how to do it properly, because if we do it wrong, then we miss it. But if we do it right, it's so easy. We're going to become, in 10 days, you can become very, very good at it. And then share it when you come home. You'll be so excited to share it with your partners and your friends. And I'm really excited to thank you, Sophia. And also, yes, thanks, Sophia, for having this leadership energy. Sophia has been spending her life educating and helping people. She's putting all her heart, and she has this energy of a teenager, of a young person. And look at her. She knows that the Essenes used to live several hundred years, and I'm sure she's on this way. And this technique also helps us rejuvenate. So yes, I want to say thank you to Sophia for organizing this, having all this youthful and spiritual energy and channeling energy. She's an amazing channel. She leads us into amazing adventures in the south of France during the Magdalene pilgrimage. So yes, I'm very excited to co-create this with her in Bali, in the island of the gods. Yes, Sophia, go for it. Tell us more.
Thank you. Xavier, yes, thank you so much for sharing that. And what a beautiful, to step now into actually sharing more about what you will experience if you feel the call, if you're feeling that call to deepen connect with these practices of breath work that Xavier has been guiding us through, and also of love's breath, which is what I will be guiding you through, which is bringing the love, them moving through from our womb, from our sacrals, from our haras into our hearts, and taking that energy and combining it, weaving it together with, taking it aligned into cosmic connections and through our consciousness into really heightened states of bliss and joy. And so it's weaving together our three practices in Bali, I think, where is quite, I'm really looking forward to it, to being back in Bali. So I've spent many years there as well, and maybe 10 years in Bali. So as Xavier shared, it's that coming home, coming to that place, coming to your heart, of being in a very still place and in a very sacred place. And the Bali culture is so un-Western in their tradition and in their practices and in their beliefs, that they are truly a culture of people that I connected with very deeply from my heart, because I feel their love is always there. I've been places in the world where there's a kind of service which is coming from a false place of love. Well, not a false place, but it's a false smile. It's not, but I always felt in Bali that the smile is real. It's coming from the heart, and it's coming from their sacred, very ancient sacred practices and traditions, being both Buddhist and Hindu, and their deep relationship with nature and with the spirits of the earth and the plants and the trees, the water. So the water is a very cleansing aspect of their traditional sacred practices. And water is one of the main elements that they bring in for purifying and cleansing our body, hearts, and mind. So bringing that body, heart, and mind back into harmony and into balance and into that place of stillness. And as Madeline teaches, I mean, it is simple, but it's so much we work through in order to release and let go of these misbeliefs and energies that have blocked our energy flow in our body, that we need to clear. And the water elements and the earth elements are there to support us in that cleansing and clearing. Because then once we move through that journey of clearing and cleansing and allowing the breath, as we've shared, to transcend, to move through, to transmute, to release, we ascension is the word, but it's actually, as Madeline shares, it's we descend into our hearts. So as we talk about ascension, but it's actually a descent into our bodies, into our heart. It's a descent of bringing our spirit into our body and into our hearts, through our hearts. So that is the journey of love's breath. So with this combined breath work and the teachings of the goddess, of what the essence of that divine feminine masculine, the essence of the Balinese culture is based on this devotion and on offerings, on beauty, on light, on love, on sensuality. I mean, my time in Bali, I mean, I could, walk past, I got so in tune with the beauty and the light there of the nature itself that I could just walk past up a path in the morning, wake up, go out for a walk through the rice fields and see maybe the early morning lotus flower just opening her petals, into this beautiful opening of this beauty and light. And these are the moments that come where you feel that you can immerse yourself and become one with this beauty and with this light. So that is why I feel very strongly, for me, Bali's been my own place where I've moved through and connected to this deep source of divine love within, and source of a conscious reality of living my life and making choices from here, from the heart, and from my desire and intentions, and from my creativity and from my expression. But it's given me that strength and insight to inspire me. It's an inspiration. Bali is an inspiration to move into, a deeper place of our hearts, of our joy, of our bliss, of our union with nature and one with nature, and one with ourselves, and that deep connection with ourselves. So it's not my first. I have been bringing people to Bali on pilgrimage, on retreats, for this reason, because it has this environment in which you feel so held by this beauty, by this life, by the sensuality, by the love, by the people, by the of service, being of service from the heart, not of service from the mind where, oh, I'm going to make money, this is bringing more money. No, yeah, of course, it's an exchange. We are exchanging, we are giving to the Balinese people by being there in our presence, and by in return we're receiving, from them in ways way beyond you could imagine how much they share and give. So when we're staying in our venues, it's like it feels like 5-star, even though it may be a very simple accommodation. It's the beauty around it and the environment around it that is really what it is that we experience. So I'm going to show you a few slides of what the retreat. We are now talking more and focusing on the Bali retreat, which will be in March the 24th to March the 24th to the 3rd of April. And we start with a slide higher up. Let's see, here we are, join this, right. Awaken and ignite your life for Sacred Breathwork Retreat in Bali. And starting on the 24th of March, it's 11 days actually to the 3rd of April. And we will be, it's a 10-day retreat, 11 days. And we're spending 7 days in Ubud, just outside Ubud, in a beautiful location in the rice fields, where we can actually walk down a little trail. There are no cars, there's no traffic there. It's just a little path through the rice fields that takes us into Ubud. So we're close to the center of where the spiritual center of Ubud, where there is, so much that is being offered in the way of, their temple practices, the Balinese dance and music, the fire ceremonies, and so on. So we're close to the temples there in Ubud. And then we spend the first 7 days where we will be moving into our practices in the morning. So the mornings will be totally devoted to this deep inner healing journey work of really fully connecting again to our true authentic selves, to our joy, to our bliss, to ignite, to feel that energy with the breath that does bring energy and life and reconnects us to our, our own true energy, and reconnects us to why we're here and our purpose for being here. That inspires us to create, inspires us to make new choices in life, that really enhances us, that enhances us and each other and our relationships with each other. So it's 3 days, and then the afternoon sessions will be taking you on trips. Not every afternoon. Some days we'll be just relaxing, enjoying the Balinese massages, the treatments, beautiful massages and treatments, the pool. And then we'll be going out maybe in the later afternoon to the holy water temples, the Batu, or I'll just show here, this is the rice field terraces. We will be passing the rice field terraces as we move through into the holy water temple, which is here. On the way to the holy water temple, we move through to Galalam, which is beautiful terrace rice fields, and into the holy water sanctuaries. Now it is here that I will guide you through each of the water gargoyles, as each gargoyle, each water fountain represents a different essence of our humanness, of our being, of our spiritual, of our essence, of our true essence. So we're bringing in and calling in our intentions. We're releasing what we've connected with, that we're choosing now to release. We're softening into opening to receive the divine source. We're opening to our intuition. So each gargoyle represents a different aspect that deepens into that connection with our hearts and with wholeness and with our desires and intentions that we bring to the water. And each gargoyle is a cleansing of our body and purification of our body and heart and mind. So coming out of that, it brings lightness and joy and connection and connecting with each other and souls as souls and with each other and in union, on this journey together. And then and this is Sabatu, which is a smaller holy water temple, which is deeply walking down many, many steps. And of course, they're all the statues that represent the different energies of the gods and goddesses of the Hindu, Balinese tradition and sacred teaches and guides us on our way. But this Sabatu is one of the most powerful experiences I've had is at this particular holy water temple, where there are two rocks where we lean against one and then lean forward on one and back on the other. And it was here that I was actually activated. The activations and transmissions that come through are very powerful through water, through waterfalls. Water. And this is a waterfall. Yes. And this connected me very deeply to the sound, my voice. My voice became activated. I discovered my voice. My voice was no longer contracted or small or connected to my misbeliefs of myself. I suddenly opened up to this sound that resonated from the rock into my body and vibrated as an energy and frequency, a total transmission that opened my voice, opened myself to being fully here, fully present, fully here as a teacher and as a spiritual guide. So it was the most amazing experience. So each of us will have our experiences in our own way as we are each on our own journey, to deepen and connect to these aspects of our sacredness and practices. And
I want to say something about this water technology. Bali, the Bali water technology, as you can see, this fountain, this water temple, there are many fountains and they all have a specific frequency. These are technologies that are very, 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 very ancient. Most people don't really understand what it is, but the Balinese priests know what it is because each fountain is tuned to a specific frequency that resonates with one of the frequencies that we have in our body. So because we are made out of 70% of water, when we receive the frequency from the outside, from the outer water, and we combine that with the breath work, where we combine it, for example, for you that were very hot in the hand during the breath work, there is a specific frequency of one of the fountain that will enhance and work specifically with you and activate your healing power. Very likely you have healing hands. You can heal people. Now, when your inner breath work and your inner ability is activated and you receive this outer water that is charged with the same similar frequency and they enter in resonance, this is when magic happened. This is what happened to Sophia when her voice got activated because she probably wanted one of the fountain that activated her throat chakra as she was doing this breath work, this specific breath work. It entered in resonance, amplified energy, cleared the block, and then suddenly our life mission gets fully activated. And this is why there's so many fountains and so many different technology. Now, to give you an idea, a few decades ago, the US American scientists decided they would come and help the Bali people with their water technology because they thought they knew everything with computer and computer science. But after 2 years of studies, they realized they cannot actually help them because the water technology of Bali is way more advanced than the computer technology that the US scientists have. So they got a little bit slapped on the ego, but they realized, wow, this is very, very ancient technology, probably much more ancient than we know in our history. It's probably more than 10 to 20,000 years old, maybe 50, maybe 100. We don't know, but it's a very, very ancient technology combining sacred geometry, resonance, probably very similar technology that were I would say, unexplicable building techniques like the pyramids have been built, because this is the magic that happens in Bali is very tangible and you will feel it. It's very a place where your life can be taken to the next level, where healing happens. And this is more Lemurian technology versus Egyptian technology, which has big pyramid and big masculine structure. This is much more subtle. It's little water temple. It's a tiny little pyramid. It's a little temple with little steps and specific shapes of rocks which resonate when we meditate or when we breathe or when the water gets charged. The water goes through all those little channels. It's more Lemurian feminine energy. So I'm sure you will appreciate that. Thank you. Sorry, Sophia, that was a little add-on technologic and scientific to support what you were saying about this water technology. It's very important and it's very unique in Bali. That's why I wanted to speak about that.
Thank you for sharing that, Xavier. I mean, to continue just with the water element for now, we will then be spending our last 3 days in Gili Air, where which is an island off Lombok, where there are no cars. I mean, it's just horses and carts, or donkeys and carts, and a coral reef. And this is a place where we can then fully spend the last 2 full days integrating our journey together and still sharing a lot of the morning practices, but we'll be going out and, also swimming with the turtles and snorkeling and feeling that connection with the wonders, really the wonders and beauty of the sea and the ocean. We'll still be gathering in the mornings and having our morning yoga on the beach and staying in place. It's so beautiful here. We are actually in a venue which is on the West Coast. So every evening we'll be actually sitting there on the beach here, as you see us, facing the west and seeing the most incredible sunsets over the ocean. And then, being able to also continue with our own practices of yoga and so on the beach, which is a lovely way to, final few days to really feel that immersion into the Balinese culture and people and, our own inner journey, our own bliss, our own joy. So sharing a little bit more, because I've been jumping around here on the screens, the practices we have here. Well, we will start the days with our yoga, with Jacqueline and the Goddess Yoga. And as she shared, we're weaving the essence of that day, whether it's Kali, which is she's a deeply transformative, essence of Kali is one that drives, is fire energy that moves through us to fully transform, release, to challenge us in letting go of what no longer really truly serves us, so that we can open, soften into our hearts and soften into our emotions and soften into that journey of just transmuting, just releasing, just connecting and opening our hearts to that, opening to our hearts. So we have our morning practices. I also mentioned I don't think there's a photo here. We'll also be visiting the Chi Temple of Chi, which is in Ubud in Tegalalan, where we will have a sound healing. A lot of, I can't remember how many gongs and how many instruments, but they would be, the traditional instruments along with the gong. Temples, pyramids in which we lie down and go through a really deep session with the sounds of these gongs, that resonate within us, which is also, sound is another healing aspect of our journey here. And listening, being able to listen, being able to hear, the crickets at night, the frogs, there are so many natural sounds and noises that we'll be tuning in. So this is just another aspect of, of being in Bali, are the sounds, and being able to hear them and listen and feel them and how they resonate within our bodies. And
Yes.
so
Yes,
we'll also
it's very important. There's one thing I want to add is that in this retreat, we'll be really looking at the holistic aspect of everything. One of the way the patriarchy has been disempowering us and putting a lot of shadows and unhappiness on humanity is by separating us and separating things. By joining the sacred geometry of the body, the outer sacred geometry and the inner sacred geometry, the sound, the breath work, the water, we are joining all the opposites and we are harmonizing all these different aspects of who we are so that the energy flows better. So the yoga is actually very intentional, not gymnastic at all. It is sacred geometry with breath, with emotions, with organ function. So this retreat, the intention of this retreat is to be fully transformative. It's packed with so many different aspects that are joining and harmonizing with each other so that a massive transformation should happen in 10 years. In 10 days, sorry, not 10 years. 10 years is when we do it 10 times. But in 10 days, we should have a lot of ingredient that allows us to have a really big transformation. And that being done near the equator in this environment is a very big part of it. Thank you, Sophia. Keep going.
Sure, yes. So yeah, this is our accommodation. Well, that doesn't show so much, but I will say that there are far more slides and videos to be seen on the website for Bali, which will give you more information, more detail, more what's included, what's to expect and who it's really for and who's feeling this call to this experience, which is, as Xavier said, it's one in which we begin to really feel and connect with ourselves through the resonance, through the vibration, through light, through our hearts, to really connect to our wholeness, and to our goodness, and to, heaven being here, not out there, but heaven being here within us, and heaven being here now. So it's a journey of really remembrance and transcendence and reconnection with our truth, with who we are, with our expression, with our resonance, with our, our life force, our energy, our love, and then how we move from here in the union within ourselves and others. So this is the retreat. This is a slide that to awaken ourselves. We've touched on this. Connect with your intuition, higher self, called to live your sacred purpose and express your soul's gifts. You're ready to manifest your dreams through divine alignment and through joy and through love. You wish to experience life as a sacred adventure filled with your sensuality in the presence of this sacredness that surrounds us and that we can connect with so easily, so availably in Bali. So you feel called to release old patterns and limiting beliefs, our misbeliefs that are keeping us from fully opening to feel these resonance and light and energy within us. And embracing our wholeness and integrating both, it is that integration, it's moving through and integrating, but it's in our embodiment then of the light and the love as we move through and release some of our misbeliefs and energies and patterns that have been keeping us in separation. And the teachings, of course, of Magdalene and Isis and the Magdalene manuscript of the Mary Magdalene manuscript. So of that inner union of divine feminine and masculine. So swimming in turtles, that is a plus, and that is a place where we can fully come together We'll be having sharing circles, gathering in our groups in the evenings. We'll be sharing where we're at, doing, beautiful yoga nidra, relaxations, and enjoying, also the lush landscapes and the exotic foods of Bali and the culture of the islands. So the sharing aspect of ourselves, the sacred sharing circles is very much part of this as well, where we come together. It's not our own, we come together in communion with each other. We're there to hold each other and support each other in that beautiful sacred space together. And yes.
Can I interject for 20 seconds here? I know people need to leave, but I'm just really excited by what the triumvirate of us three can bring, because we clearly all fascinated in like ancient wisdom as well as modern science. And just, you mentioned the water and the power of the water there. And two of the bright lights I've come across in my life include Masaru Emoto, the Japanese scientist who worked very, very in depth with water and its consciousness, and also Veda Austin, who's working with water crystallography. She's from New Zealand. She's amazing. So, depending on how it unfolds in Bali, if there's time, I could share some of that while we're out there as well. And I'm just, really excited to see to know what we're going to bring, the three of us together.
I know it's really beautiful that we're coming together now as well, being able to share this with you all who are here present with us on the webinar, or if you listen to it, as a replay. But just to complete it then, to find out more, this is the time to, if you feel called to, to secure your place, as we only have a limited number of 12. So if you are feeling called, you can secure it both a deposit now, and you can also connect with me at breathe@sophiamagdalena.com through my email if you have more questions, or if you'd like to, have questions. And there are questions, and normally I will go into questions. And if we have got time now, for those of you who are still here with me, we can open it up for questions. But the main thing here is to let you know the limited number, and we're looking forward very much to your joining us in Bali and securing an early bird price, which is to the 31st of December, and contacting me at breathe@sophiamagdalena.com and looking at the webpage, because there you will have a lot more information about our journey and what we offer, and what's included and so on, and what our practices are in our mornings, afternoons, and evenings. So I welcome, now to open it up more to you again. And if there are questions now, it'd be very good to come back to you here and open up gallery view. Welcome back, everyone. So I am opening it up now. If you feel called, if you have questions, if there's something you'd like to share now, either about the practice or about Bali or about the retreat that we're offering, or anything that's coming up for you, feel free to ask anything, and we will answer as best we can. Yes, Sharon.
Hiya. Can I ask about the yoga? It is a practice I'd like to start to do, but I don't actually do yoga. I don't know how to do it. So as a brand new beginner, how would that be for me?
Good question. Well, yoga, just so to give you a short answer, other than an hour-long answer, yoga is much more than just physical postures. It always was and always will be. If you look at the tree of yoga as such, the physical asanas, they're called, or postures, are only 1/8 of the tree. So that's the first thing you need to know. It's more about breathing. It's more about, like, it's good for the body, mind, spirit. It's about pranayama, meditation, and all kinds of other things. ultimately self-realization, enlightenment. Having said that, it obviously helps I mean, it would be useful if you have like a very basic idea of yoga before coming, but I can work with anyone. I can adapt my practices to cater for all people. If you do choose to come, it wouldn't hurt to just introduce yourself to a little bit of yoga before coming, just for the purpose of, we can all flow together with knowing what the basics are. But as I say, I can adapt around your needs if you are not so familiar as well.
Okay, thank you.
And
Thank
of course
you.
the theme will be goddesses. So if you're interested in that, we could be focusing on the different goddesses, Tara, whoever, throughout.
Okay, thank you.
Feel free to add anything, Xavier or Sophia, if you.
Yes, we are all different. So we respect that. This is the thing. We are all different and equal and all different. So all the technique and practices are designed to support everyone in our uniqueness.
Yes.
So
yeah. The great teacher Krishnamacharya said, yoga adapts to the individual, not the other way around. So there's always a way we can make it happen.
And you've seen how simple the breath work was and how profound it can be. So it's the same with everything. I think complicating things is a way to disempower people by scaring them. Oh no, it's too complicated. And then they stay small, and then they're easier to control. It's a way of hierarchy to keep people as slaves because they're afraid to learn. But really, the true empowerment is everyone is equal. A beginner is the same as an experience, because what's important is our own development. This is one of the Essenes teaching, is that everyone is equal. And we can the same way learn from a very advanced experienced teacher than we can learn from a child. Because a child, what's better than a child to learn about innocence, to learn about compassion, to learn about true unconditional joy and love. They will be the best teacher. So, and they're just a child. So this is what our practice and teachings are based, is that everyone is equal and there is no prerequisite except the will to do our best and to go at the pace that we are ready to go. So it's absolutely fine. And this is when magic happens. This is when true magic happens.
Yes, Kari, you have a question. Thank you.
Hi guys. Actually, it's more of a celebration of the work that you're doing, because I was on a retreat with you guys this summer and it was so amazing and profound. I've had so many transformations since then, and I'm really excited to be on this Bali retreat. So thank you for offering it.
Thank you.
Lots of love to you guys.
And I want to add also the fact that it's in Bali is very important. Bali, beyond being the island of the 10,000 temples, and they say, I mean, to the eye of the non-initiate, of misunderstanding, it can be, oh, it's spiritual, it can be folkloric. Well, the fact that Bali has been able to resist invasion for more than 600 years, while Bali is completely unique in the world, and it's in Indonesia. But if you travel into the 17,000 Indonesian islands, only one is like Bali. And when I asked the priest, when I arrived in Bali, I started studying with the Balinese priest because I really want to understand how can Bali be so unique while other islands are so different vibe, different religion. The priest explained to me like there's a lot of technology and science based behind this ceremonies and the way they speak, the way they sing, the way the sounds are done, the way the water is charged. So everything is actually very, very, very scientifically studied practice. So we are going into one of the most powerful hidden secrets because when I asked the priest, how come Bali was, Java was invaded and destroyed. Sumatra was invaded and destroyed, but Bali, they couldn't. And the priest told me they just couldn't. So some people call it black magic, But the priest told me, no, it's just our technology. This is how we do it. This is how it works. And they said that the invader had nightmares and were attacked by armies of ghosts. Now, those ghosts, they are not strange, scary things at all. They are the friends of the Balinese people, because on this equality, everything is equal. They are friends with older dimensional beings, and everything is very organized. They have a science to organize what is what and where everything is. And this is a very, very advanced civilization here, that we are going to receive the download, and we are going to receive the channeling of this technology that allows them to be happy. You will feel it. They are so happy and smiling and welcoming because they have so much power. They don't need to prove it. They can be the complete peaceful warriors because they have so much power from their technology and their prayers and the way they do things, and the way they charge the water and receive the water that they charge, that they don't have to show any display of power. They can be welcoming and loving. So being here is a big gift, and a big part of the power of this retreat is that we are going to be able to work with all these powers and all this energy and receive, by being impregnated and swimming in it, receive this power and this technology.
Thank you. Thank you, Xavier. So we're bringing it to a close, but I would like to still open it to any questions. Yes, Linda.
Where do we find the booking details? Will you be emailing them to us?
They are in a website, www.sophia-magdalena.com. So
Yeah,
I'll just
Sidika just put it in the chat. So if you look in the chat, on Zoom in the chat, there is the link. Sidika just put it.
It's covered up. I agree. Yeah.
Sidika is our amazing organizer. Sidika is our amazing organizer. She probably you probably have her contact. Otherwise, she will email you. Make sure you contact her if you don't know, if she hasn't contacted you, if you don't have her detail.
Thank you. Yes.
Hi, everybody.
Yes, there she is. There she is, waving to us. She's this beautiful heart, so dedicated, making everything work smoothly in peace, and like she's like the magic, the fairy that makes everything run smoothly.
Thank you.
Yes. So, any other questions before we? Yes.
So everybody who's on the call and everyone who's basically signed up for this webinar, then you'll get an email probably tomorrow.
Right.
And then when we have the recording up, also we can send you the recording, so you can then send that to anybody also who you think might be interested. And then also be a link, another link to the web page, and that's got all the details on it. And if you scroll down to the bottom of the web page, it shows you how to book. Yeah, and any questions, or if you want to talk things through, then Sophia's contact details are on there as well.
And is it just the London airports that we can fly to Bali from?
Yes, I will also help
from anywhere in the world. From anywhere in the world, you can fly to Bali.
Sorry. Yeah, I will. Once you connect with me, I will be able to help you, be able to support you in finding the right flight, because all that's detail, I can support that, and we will have probably a job form about food and so on as well, and I will need to know everybody's flight details, because you will be met. That's all included at the airport and brought to the venue. Or if you want to arrive a few days earlier, which I do recommend, because then you have time to just land, and it's important just to land as well in our bodies there. I know there are good flights on the 19th, for example, flying to Bali, to Denpasar in Bali, and well, that would be from the UK, so I'm not sure where you'd be flying from. Where would you fly from?
UK.
UK, yeah, that's a good flight. This one on the 19th. And then that will get you there on the 20th, which gives you a couple of days to land before we start on the 24th. And anybody who is interested, and does want to sign up, you're very welcome. And all those details I will have. I have my organizers, my transport people, who will be organized to meet you and bring you to where you're staying or to the venue. So you'll land, and it will just flow into nice ease ease, nothing to think about. It'll all be taken care of.
And
You
if we
just
come a
feel
couple of days early, we just pay a little bit more for accommodation, do we?
But of the accommodation, okay, the accommodation is shared accommodation. There are single accommodations in the first venue. All the accommodation rooms in Gili Air are single, so you will have your own room in Gili Air, and it's on the west coast, and it's next to a beautiful organic vegetarian restaurant that's right there on the beach that has the most amazing food. Now, our food is included whilst we are the 7 days in Ubud, which is the retreat aspect, more intensive part of our work and journey. There, our food is all included, 3 meals a day at our venue. But we will go out as well and enjoy an amazing meal together at Cafe Wayan, which is one of the oldest restaurants in Ubud, and incredible service and treated like kings and queens and goddesses there. As we always are when we go out anywhere to eat. And yes, so there'll be one night where we go out and eat together and also go to either a fire show, catch up, or a dance, a performance. And then the other time, the last 2 days, 2.5 days in Gili Air is a fast boat that we take to Gili Air, which is all organized, will be picked up, taken to the boat, and then met at the boat by horse and cart that will carry us to our venue. And there,
anybody who comes early,
there we have our own, we have breakfast included, but we will be eating out together, in these little warongs or cafes on Gili Air. Very simple, very lovely meals. Very healthy. I say the food is incredibly healthy. It's all prepared with love, and it's art. It's a creation when you see it. You just eat one mouthful and you feel totally nourished and loved. It's a whole experience in itself, eating in Bali. So yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Nice.
And the other venue, well, that's the venue in Gilead, and the venue in Ubud itself is just outside Ubud, and it's as a walk through the rice fields, and it's called Dragonfly. So it has a wonderful yoga chalet, wonderful views of Mount Agung, of the volcanic mountain, and views of the rice fields in the jungle. And it has a swimming pool. I think it has a salt bath, a sauna. I'm not sure. I can't remember all the details, but it's simple. It's not luxurious, but it's very much nature and very much organic. And the food is all coming from their own organic farm and being prepared in very loving ways as well. So it's a very it's very connected to the culture in that way, that it is very eco-conscious.
Yeah, Sophia, there's it's a herbal sauna in Dragonfly.
Oh, nice.
Yes, which would be lovely. Yeah, and just if you do want to come early, then any extra nights that you stay, then that would be at your own expense. And then if you connect in with Sophia, she can find out if there's availability at the venue, or can help you find somewhere else for anyone who comes early. Yeah.
But it's not extremely expensive, is it, to stay a couple of extra nights? It's fairly reasonable, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable. Yeah.
Oh, and I will arrange the venue for you where you'll stay. Yes, it won't be expensive. No, it'll be probably somewhere just outside Ubud.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, it all sounds very attractive.
Any other questions? Any other? If not, we can probably, Abby, I know you're considering it, so we can probably close now for our webinar, and just want to say thank you everyone for joining us, and let's take a nice deep breath in. Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
Thank you.
everybody. Have a good
Thank
night.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yay,
Good evening.